Welcome to the Cafe Nightly Show. I'm your host, the Goldsmith. It is the 19th of April, 2024. It is Friday. It is late. It is the day before Record Store Day. It's kind of a thing every year where whatever happens all the way back to a couple of years ago with Upland was doing his thing and Record Store Day, and gotta get ready for the next day. So I guess I gotta do the show so I can sleep and get up in the morning to get in line. But before I do all that, a few things actually happened today in Upland. One of those rare Fridays where we get a few announcements in addition to the weekly recap, the Upland update. The first and foremost along the list, other than the Upland update, is race this weekend. So we do have the race for the Stock Car Pro Series race this weekend, broadcast in the Upland Plaza. Get into some of the details there. Obviously, some giveaways. Upland does a pretty good job with that. We additionally have a little bit of a surprise dropped just out of the blue. I had some thoughts on it too, but just dropped out of the blue property card for the Bitcoin halving. So we can take a peek at that. And otherwise, we do have one more thing, Spark Weekend. We are having the Spark Weekend every weekend in Blossom season, every weekend moving forward. As of right now, every weekend moving forward during the seasons, we will have Spark Weekends with hiatuses, with no Spark Weekends during the periods of time between those seasons. Well, let's get started with the customary, get it out of the way, make sure we know it up front. All views and opinions expressed by myself are mine and mine alone. Should be taken as game strategy or financial advice. They represent the game or the team of Upland. Any guests or contributors who we do have on, they have their own views, they have their own opinions. They are welcome to them, but they shouldn't be taken as game strategy or financial advice and represent myself, the Goldsmith, the Cafe Nightly Show, the game, or the team of Upland. All right, easy enough. Grabbing a couple things here so we can take a look at. But first and foremost on that list, obviously, let's start with the pieces that we knew were coming that we just happened to get along the way. And obviously, first among them is taking a look at the Spark Weekend. This is something we have every weekend during our seasons, at least now and moving forward. Head over to the Upland store on the web to register for your place in the Spark sale. Spark Weekend also means it's a perfect time to level up due to boosted level up bonus. The sale starts Saturday the 20th at 9 a.m. PT. Spark Weekend, including boosted up level for Spark, level up with boosted Spark. It does end on Monday the 22nd at 9 a.m. PT. Oh, and by the way, we have another one-of-a-kind structure available to build this weekend up in Arlington. Again, we've had this rotation where we have structures that you can only get started during Spark Weekends. I kind of like it. It goes along hand in hand with this unique properties badge, trying to get the 30 unique structures built. And it is also a way to have some diversification in the game of Upland, but also to mark time, because you can only start these for a very limited period of time. So here is that structure here for Arlington. Can only get started this weekend. If you have properties over in Arlington, this is the structure right here. Let's just spin. Oh, it's going fast. I'm getting dizzy. Ooh, I got to stop it. Where we can see that's the structure that is available to get started this weekend. Of course, it doesn't have to get finished this weekend. Just get started and keep minimum stake on it as you do build that over time. And let's go and take a look in the Upland store. Let's go take a look at the actual Spark mounts here. We have, and it's interesting this weekend, we have not seen a big official fancy announcement with everything there, with our Spark amounts, with all those things built in. It's kind of just a passive in the background. Hey, by the way, if you want to buy some Spark, it's over in the store. Go over there and register for it. Oh, by the way, we have this process we're pretty familiar with, where you have a bonus over the weekend. We have that 20% bonus if you were in a position where you're about to level up and you want to level up during the Spark Weekend, and you get that bonus. I like this. I like that it doesn't have to be a big announcement anymore. It's part of the schedule. If you want to get more information, obviously it has to be out there as far as what our level up bonuses are. but we might not need the announcement every weekend. And that's exactly what we got this weekend. No announcement, no official. Hey, this is the recap of what's going on. Just a reminder that the level up bonuses are in place this weekend. They did start as they usually do for Spark weekends. If you go back and look at the last Spark weekend announcement, all the information there should be pretty consistent. Let's take a look at our mounts. So we do have a half Spark available, 50 of those bundles available at $29.99. A point one Spark, we've got 50 of those available at $54.50. Sorry, 99 cents. 20 quarter Spark available at $129.99. 20 half Spark available. What did we do here? 20 half Spark available at $239.99. And oh yeah, 0.05 at $29.99. And oh yeah, here we go. There are some Sparks. One Spark bundles, 15 of those available. Total price $459.99. That's the $460 customary cost of buying a Spark, and 15 of those available this weekend. As we've seen, the numbers have gotten smaller because we are looking at this every weekend instead of every month. And as we do march towards different means of earning Sparklets, as we transition that way, different means of earning Sparklet. These Spark sales, we don't see as many quantities going out as they had before, but we don't see as many people buying them. So if you are interested, you want to pick some Spark up, you don't want to go all the way to Genesis Week to get that extra Spark. And again, one Spark, just going to Genesis Week. Just a hint there. It's possible. It's less than $460 to get your ticket, and you could be getting yourself one Spark as well as a good time for a couple of days. Have some drinks, have some food, for, 3 meals at the Sahara. If you don't have to travel cross country, you don't have all those extra costs. If you're in the Vegas area, it's almost a no-brainer. That's the end of that plug. But again, $460, you could buy one of these 15 bundles of one Spark each. For Spark Weekend, again, we expect it to happen every weekend during season. So if you missed this weekend, if you're about to level up, if you're almost a director but you're not quite there, don't level up on Tuesday when you get there. Wait until next week and wait until you get the announcement from Upland that the Spark Weekend is open, and then level up and get your 20% bonus for doing so. Looking at this property card again, surprise, surprise, all players who have burned the Blossom season passes. Again, this is burned. You can't go back. You can't scoop this up. You can't see this announcement, burn the pass, and get the reward. But if you had already done so, you've been dropped an extra special property card background in honor of the Bitcoin halving. Check out your profile and show us the exclusive background in action. Doesn't look like there's any contest there. It's just heads up of it's available to you, and Upland saying promotionally, hey, use it. Take a look here. Click here. Come on down to our backgrounds for our Block Explorer. We're almost there. Property cards, here we come. And there's a new property card, Bitcoin halving. Save that. Yes, we do. And we can go and see what that looks like over here. Hitting any property, pop that up. And there we go. So halving and Bitcoin. And what is that? Is that the... Oh, it is. I was going to say, is that the Spark symbol? I don't know. But yeah, Bitcoin halving, obviously in celebration of Bitcoin halving, Upland is throwing that in there. I think there was a little bit of an argument this season about, is there as many pieces and bits and components and extras that come along with this cosmetic pass? Do we see as many as we did in Frost? Was there more property cards? Was there more animation? Was there more? Keep in mind, we are only partway through the month. And secondly, now we add this to the pile. That last week, or this past Tuesday, we had 3 instead of 2 things dropped. I think Upland's catching up this time around. I think maybe, I don't know. I never know what's going to happen. Like I said, I could not judge the quality or the quantity of the cosmetic drops this season until we get to all the way to the end, because they could be backloaded for all I know. And here's one that we didn't expect along the way. Upland dropped another one, again, just to those people who have already burned their cosmetic season pass to be part of those drops. And it's nice that, again, it wasn't advertise. It didn't say, hey, burn that pass if you want to get a bonus. It just happened to those who already had done so. So it is something that if you burn the pass, if you take a part in the cosmetics, maybe, just maybe at one point or another, there'll be a little bonus for you along the way. Stock Car Race is this weekend. We talk about Stock Car Pro Series. We finished things off a couple months ago. New season has been kicked off. And we're going to see these weekly events, I'm sure, in the Upland Plaza now that we are using the plaza instead of the cafe. And Upland drops some bonuses along the way. And here's one of them. Save some room in your weekend schedule to check out this weekend's Stock Car Pro Race for a chance to win 20,000 UPIX. The details, head on over to the Upland City Plaza, 52 Grove Street, San Francisco. Sunday, April 21st at 8:30 a.m. PT. That's it. Enjoy the race. Don't miss the thrilling action. And let us know you're tuning in over on the social for extra chances to win. And Upland's been doing this as well with the Upland internal chat. So the chat in game of Upland, where they've been giving away some UPIX just for people, posting in there. Go post on the socials about this, and Upland could pick your name out of the hat and get some more UPIX along the way. So that is nice to see. Again, surprises sometimes are worth it, but Upland really is kind of pushing this idea of social engagement. They building up where not only is there the specific interact with this item in the platform to get this reward, earning the points along the way to level up and leveling up so that we can get some sparklet, but also this idea that they're trying to encourage people in the community to share the stuff they put out there, to engage with the content, to discuss with their friends and their followers what is going on in the game of Upland. And if they can get people to organically go and do those things and say, ooh, this cool post was put out by Upland. Hey, do you want to see this, hear about this? You haven't heard about it yet? Well, take a look. If they can get people to do that organically without having to give them a prize, give them a little piece, I think that's good for Upland. It's good for the community. It's good for sharing. I don't want to see it 1,000 times in my inbox, but again, some of the algorithms filter some of those things out anyways, and I am glad. I'm glad that we have a growing community, and we do have new people coming into it. So fingers crossed, we see some really good things as we get to the end of this promotion for the first chapter of the platform, of the airdrop platform. But again, if this is an organic thing and people are sharing Upland more and people are discussing Upland more, it's a good thing. And speaking of organic versus not organic versus partner versus they paid somebody to put out a post, let's take a look. Before I get there, we'll take a look, I should say, after about our platform participatory share, like, and comment post, a post to engage with, because it was a paid post that Upland obviously paid somebody to put a post out there for their 10,000 followers, which is all right and all. Reposting it, all of us doing so, we're getting points along the way for our platform. And again, we'll take a look at that post. If you haven't participated yet, that dropped today. Participate before the next one pops up. Otherwise, you won't have the opportunity to participate with this one. P.S. Players can now purchase drinks, and this is a big piece. This is a couch piece in this in this whole discussion about the racing, in this discussion about what's currently going on over the plaza. You can now purchase drinks for yourself or for others in the plaza, unlocking fresh dance moves and more. Check out an example below and let us know if you'd like to try them out. Here's the cool thing. The cool thing about this has been hinted along the way. This is a means and a mode of monetization for people who are going to have their own cafes here in the future. The idea that this was something Upland was going to build and develop and get released so that we could have monetization inside of a community event. I like the idea that they are piloting this now. Obviously, if this is something that is done during an Upland community event, it looks like Upland's going to be the beneficiary. But if we get an announcement next week or the week after or at Genesis week, maybe, I don't know, maybe, possibly, sort of, about actually getting player-driven cafes and having those be opened up in the game and having the opportunity to have a cafe, then maybe it's nice to have the monetization or a monetization method available as soon as those drop. So that's pretty cool. It's a means of tipping, but it's also a means of differentiating your experience and paying a little bit for it. And if that's an UPEX, as opposed to the USD for cosmetics, if that's an UPEX, I could see a lot of people being willing to subscribe or being able to say, I'm going to pay a little bit of UPEX to have this differentiated experience for a short period of time. So it's kind of cool that Upland is piloting that. I think there's a lot that can go on here. And we have the Retro Energy drink. That is the pilot here. And if you take a look, a little dancing going on. Pretty interesting that, again, pretty interesting to see. And it's nice that we are going to have a delivery here on this monetization option for the upcoming. And I say upcoming because they still haven't come yet, but we're promised they're coming. Player-driven cafes, player-owned cafes. And then, again, we'll get over to the platform here in a minute, but the weekly update, the Upland update, big topics in there. We've talked about them already this week. Genesis Live, the airdrop that's happening there, that 1 to 5 spark, that is an important one. It had to be covered. It was in the weekly update, the Upland update. Legacy property bundles, I mean, it's still in there. They're still available. Go buy them if you want. In there, it was important that the language is in there, and the X1 kind of does a good job of making sure that language is in there. And that was that the reason why these are part of the extras, or these bundles are sitting in the extras, is it's Upland's intention to always have those discounted bundles in that extras field. I mean, they specifically said, we're not putting in specials, we're putting in extras, because just like buying some cents when you're out of the cents, you can go spend those 99 cents and get those cents and get restarted, or have a few extra cents when you have a minting. Just like those are always going to be available. And these bundles, theoretically, Upland's going to be continuing to build new bundles and put them in there. If we have more legacy properties, in theory, if they sell out, that's a great thing because we don't have any legacy properties. But I think we've got plenty of legacy properties to keep those bundles full for a while, especially since I'm not the biggest fan of the price point of valuing in the USD versus the UPEX, and the fact that we don't know what you're getting. But for those who that is the thing, for those who enjoy that option, they're going to be there in the extras field for a very long time in the future, I am sure. And of course, Spark Weekend being updated with that exclusive structure, all part of the Upland update. And if you haven't taken a look, it's right here. It's in the game of Upland there, in the chat channels. It's also obviously in Discord, easy enough to get to, easy enough to see right there. X1 talking us through the week, getting back over, and I think this continues to be my easiest way for the platform. I gotta get it in an easier place. I gotta get it bookmarked or something, but still go all the way to the platform. There is the share and build airdrop. We're almost out of this particular chapter, but I'm still using airdrop.upland.me, that link to it, as opposed to having it sitting there as a bookmark already. Ooh, almost there. Upland, give me another mission, please. I need it so I can get to level 2. We have only 4 days left in this chapter, in chapter number 1. Oh, it's so close. Please, Upland. Get me to level 2. So we did go and see the earn points for the today. You had to comment, had to repost, had to like this little post, and let's take a look at it. This is not somebody I'm familiar with. I'm sure I'm sure I may have seen the name, but it's not somebody I follow for sure. Icy _ gaming, ICE. Why? All right, and _ gaming, reviewing crypto and games in under 60 seconds. This seems to be a series this individual does. Again, this is part 5 of their series, Upland Me's mission to build the world's largest open digital economy. And then some little key points here: 4 years of development, 30,000 DAU, 300,000 landowners, and a airdrop. That's great that it's all out there. Learn more about Upland and their Sparklet build and share airdrop campaign. I think that's pretty succinct there. But wait, there's more. It's 60-second video, and it's well produced. It's well put together. It's halfway factual, which is pretty good for when somebody puts together a promotional video, a sponsored promotional video, and that person doesn't come from inside the community. It's somebody who probably is not familiar with Upland all that much, but it's well edited. It's well put together. And it's it seems like it's what the individual does a lot of it. And again, of course, the big old hashtag partnered, aka sponsored content there. And Upland's kind of signaled this. This is a shared this is a share event. This Upland, people getting points for sharing this, but Upland ultimately wants to get the news out about Sparklet. They're going to different methods, and they're going to different ecosystems, and they're going to spaces that already exist in the blockchain space, spaces that already exist in the gaming space, and going and trying to cultivate those things, cultivate those relationships, and get into those groups. And that's exactly what's happening here. So not too surprised that Upland stuck this in. Like I said, there are only 4 days left. Do participate in this one. Keep your eyes open. We need just one more to get me to level 2. And I think a lot of people do 4 times multiplier in the same boat. They're sitting there waiting for that one last opportunity. And then they'll be level 2. And we'll get our Sparklet payout in the next couple weeks. And we'll be happy and up when we'll start another chapter at some point in the not so distant future. We'll have to see how that goes, but for this week right now, at least we know that we are almost done this chapter, and that's it. That's where we are at the moment. For this week in Upland, we'll keep our eyes out for next week. I keep thinking it's gonna drop, and what that is that Sparklet AMA. We were told about a week ago that it was coming, and that we had previously been told that was going to happen in the first quarter of 2024. And we are in the second quarter of 2024, and we really want it to come. So if it drops next week, I'll be also happy. That before we get out of Blossom season, we've already been hinted and tipped and tipped off, hinted and tipped that by the end of this season, of Blossom season, we will have another city release. So keep your eyes out for that. And of course, we continue to march towards Genesis Week. We need to get more information about our hackathon. We will get more information about some of the events at Genesis Week this year. And maybe we'll get one more call to action. We'll get one more Upland, really kind of lay it on thick. But you didn't want to go for the spark. You didn't want to go for the meal. You didn't want to go for the community. But now there's even more. We're going to get one more of those drops, I'm sure, between now and Genesis Week. One more call to action, one more reason for people to go. But I've got plenty of reasons already, so I'm going to be there. And just keep in mind there's a counting clock that it's ticking down. There's only so much time to book, and things do tend to get more expensive. Things do tend to sell out in terms of flights as we do get closer to events. Just a heads up. But otherwise, for tonight, thank you so much for being here. As always, in the Upland Cafe, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. PT. On a lot of days in the week, we will get started right at the 7 p.m. PT time, but we do try to get things kicked off in the Upland Cafe. And for those in the Upland Cafe, thank you so much for being here. Please feel free to unmute your mics. The floor is yours. Also, thank you so much, Dopest Toys. You see the comment in there. Thank you much. And again, the floor is yours. Anybody in the Upland Cafe.